Welcome, everyone. Come on in, my beautiful friends. Welcome, welcome to the Clinic Growth Map Success Panel. Will you say hello in the chat? I'm so thrilled that you're here. Here's what I want to know. Will you tell me two things in the chat? I would love to know what type of a therapist are you and where are you located? I promise you there's going to be somebody here from where you're from. This is also a bit of networking so you don't feel so alone. I'm standing before you as a retired psychologist turned business coach, and I'm in Toronto. Hey, oh, another Torontonian, Dave from Ottawa. Hello, hello. So good to see you guys. See, another person from Ottawa. Elaine, meet Dave. You're both from Ottawa. I hope you're able to connect. Northern California, Pennsylvania. Oh, I'm thrilled you're here. Here's what I want to know. I love giving you all the things. The group practice owners who are successful are gatekeeping this, right? I feel that. They're not opening the door to their story and everything you need to know. I want to know what you want to leave with today. What do you want to leave with? Will you drop me just a word? Is it inspiration? Is it strategy? Is it hope? Is it optimism? What do you want to leave with? I'm going to manifest that you get that tenfold today. Strategy, next step, says Maria. So good. Strategy and hope. Great. So amazing. Okay. Strength, motivation. You're going to get it all. Clarity, next steps. Got some optimism for you, Stephanie. So good. Okay. Don't mind my raspy, sexy voice. Do you like it? I'm a little bit sick. I don't know about you guys, but the weather has been a little all over the place in Toronto. It was snowing one minute and I was swimming in my pool the next. And of course, I got sick. I want you to know that you are going to meet two Canadians, two Americans. Doesn't matter where you live, you're going to hear all the goods today. I'm so thrilled for you. And every single one of them are a graduate of the Clinic Growth Map. Will you let me know? I'm curious. Who already has a group practice? Will you drop the word group? Even if you only hired one person, you have a group. So you own a group practice. Or if you have solo, will you drop the word solo for me? So many groups. Welcome, my groups. I'm so excited to help you level up. Now, here's the most exciting part. Okay. Hi, Tamara. I think I saw your name flash by. I hope it's the Tamara that I think. Um, I want you to know that there's going to be a Q&A at the end. So any questions you have throughout, please put them in the chat and you can talk back and forth like through the moderator. You'll get your questions answered from the panelist. I've got questions. I'm going to ask them. I have a feeling I know what you want to hear, but there's time at the end. So at any time, my team is in the chat and drop your questions. And one last thing before we bring them up, I have something for you. I really want to acknowledge the time you took today to work on your business. You could be working in your business like most people in this moment, but you're already ahead because you're here. Because of that, I have a bonus for you. Do you want it? Type the word bonus if you want this free guide. Here's what it is. 8 steps to a high converting specialty page. This matters more than ever right now in AI search. Do you want it? I'm seeing that in the chat. Look at it all. Amazing. It is yours. I'll drop it at the end. Okay. And all you have to do is click the link. Before I bring them up to the stage, I'm just curious, is anybody new? They've never met me before. Will you drop the word new if this is the first time you're seeing this face? Oh my God, hi. Or if not, if you've been to an event, or maybe let me know where we're hanging out. If maybe you're listening to the podcast, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Facebook, maybe some of you I met at the Psychotherapy Networker conference. Anybody from that a couple weeks ago? Hello, hello. Okay, guys. I'm going to tell you who I am real quick for the new people. As I mentioned, I'm a retired psychologist turned business coach. It still feels weird saying that. Like for 15 years, I worked in solo practice doing EMDR and I loved it. But I just became EMDR and seeing couples actually. But I just became sick of hitting the ceiling in my income. Solo people, are you feeling that? And I took the leap, and in 3 years, I grew to 55 therapists with twins at home. But here's what you may not know is possible. You're learning all the things possible today. I hit the seven-figure mark in my second year and almost 3 million in my third. What I'm really proud of, though, is that it ran without me. And you might know this part. I was able to create it and sell it. There's someone on the panel today who's hit the seven-figure mark. You'll hear from her, ask her all the questions. I want you to leave today with motivation, just knowing that this is possible. They don't tell us this in graduate school, so you're going to hear all of the secrets today. Let's bring them up to the stage. Come on up, guys. They're going to pop up here. And as I talk, I'm going to introduce, you're going to meet Mandy from Nebraska. Anybody from Nebraska here? You're going to meet Andrea from Washington. Anybody from Washington? Drop a Washington in the chat. Although she's in a beautiful hotel right now in sunny Florida. Anybody here from Toronto? I saw some of you. You're going to meet Karen and Gabriella from Vancouver. Yay! I'm so thrilled. This is going to be so much fun. Okay, my first question is for you, Mandy. Do you want to introduce yourself? Maybe share how many people in your group and how long you've been in group practice.
You bet. Yes, my name is Mandy. I'm from Nebraska. We opened New Path Counseling in May of 2023. And we went from just myself to currently we have 17 therapists, one psychologist, two admin, and two locations.
Wow. And the best part.
Yes, I did hit that seven-figure mark. Yes.
And how does that feel saying that out loud?
Amazing. It was kind of it was an out there goal. And it was a big dream goal. And when you reach your goals, it's kind of um, worth taking the moment to let it soak in and realize that those big reach goals really could just be goals.
Yeah. I was meditating before this, and that's what came to me. I feel like every person on this call is a high achieving person. Yes. Do you relate to that? And just really soaking in whatever goal you just reach. Will you please breathe that in with me? Like, really, it's really not worth it if you're not going to fully receive it. Andrea, who are you? When did you start, and how big's your group?
Hi, I'm Andrea Hainsworth. I started in January of 2024. We have 20 therapists, including interns, three admins, and also two locations. And Nicole, you don't know this yet, but January through March, we've hit six figures
Oh
every
my
month
God.
for 2026. So on track to hit seven figures in 2026.
How does that feel to make six figures a month when probably you were just making six figures a year for years?
Yeah, it felt like a huge, huge breakthrough after working really hard
Yeah.
for the first couple years, 2024 and 2025, and then something just shifted. We got some traction and the momentum really took off in January of 2026, and we're going strong.
And when did you start?
2024,
I'm that is unreal.
January,
Guys, take that
January
in.
2024.
Wow, so inspiring. Rocket ship, like just like so fast. Yeah. Karen from Markham.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Rezick, and yes, I'm in Markham, Ontario, in Canada. We opened our practice, well, I opened it solo in May 2022 and started group in around October of 2022. And it was kind of a side thing for me. It wasn't my full-blown first career and or first love or main focus. Today it is. I've made the transition, and I can speak about that later, from nursing to fully be dedicated in our group practice. Today we are a group of 16, two interns and two admins, and one location, but we are toying with the idea of opening a second soon.
That is amazing. Wow. So good. And just to answer the people in the chat, so both Mandy and Andrea are American and they're both private pay. Are you guys 100% private pay? Are you a mix? Oh, okay, good. You're a mix, Mandy.
I'm 95% insurance based.
Okay, so
Yeah.
good. I wanted a mix of both. So wonderful. Okay, so you guys are hearing from both sides.
Yeah,
So
I'm
all the
100% private pay.
Okay, amazing. And Gabriella.
Yes, hello, I'm Gabriella. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, and I have been in group practice in a serious way a year and a half now. I did have one associate, Nicole, before I discovered you, but didn't really know what I was doing, so I don't count it. A year and a half, I've been growing this group practice in a serious way. We're now at 16 on the team, with three more signed contracts of therapists I'll be onboarding over the next few months here. And I'm also on track to hit seven figures this year.
Mm, so
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
unreal how fast your life can change. I'll start with you, Gabriella. My first question is, what was your why? Why did you want to scale into a group? Why not just stay solo?
Nice. Yeah, I stayed solo for a long time. I was a solo practitioner for 10 years before taking this plunge. Then, during my pregnancy with my second kiddo, my son, I had something called hyperemesis, like severe nausea and vomiting of pregnancy, and that completely wiped me out. I was hospitalized for the first half of my pregnancy and unable to work. So that experience and like the loss of income really solidified a vision that I had had for a while, but I was kind of scared to take the leap. At that moment, I knew, okay, I want to make my vision come to life, create a larger group practice that could support me and being more present, really, more present for my health and my babies. And I have a bit of a funny story that goes with this. During that whole time I was hospitalized, I was complaining to my friend about all the struggles with having to take time off work. And I shared my vision with her of growing the group practice. But I said, I think I need a coach. Like, I need someone who's done this before. And she shared, well, there's this woman that keeps popping up on my Facebook. It was you, Nicole. It was Nicole, and I just instantly trusted someone whose ad reach was working that well. And I'm so glad. I'm so grateful that I got to have you as my coach.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Fast manifestation. And there I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Your friend's like, actually, wait, I think she's right here. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so great. Mandy, what about you? What was
I
your
was
why?
yeah, I was in solo practice, referring out multiple clients every week because I just didn't have the capacity. And at one point, a colleague told me that she had to hire another clinician just from my referrals alone. And that's the moment it clicked for me that there wasn't a lack of demand, but there was a lack of access. And I was frustrated turning people away and realized I could solve that gap in my community.
Mm. Guys, you might have heard me say this, or maybe you tell me in the chat. Is there anybody here who is referring out? Drop a me if you're currently referring out. Mandy, the exact same thing for me. I was sending everyone my children and families, and then she started a group. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I literally just built her group practice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Good for you. That was a wake up call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrea.
Yeah, similar to Mandy, and I'll just add one little thing to it. I would ignore my phone. I would not want to get messages. I would not want clients to call. I did not want new clients. It stressed me out so much because I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know who to refer to. And one day I needed a new dentist and I called the dentist and I just needed a cleaning. And they're like, we can't get you in for like 6 months. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I am willing to pay you, and you are turning me away. And then it clicked. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have people wanting to work with me, wanting to pay me, and I am turning them away left and right. And that's when I thought this is ridiculous that I am basically building other people's practices. And I'm going to switch to a group and build my own practice.
So amazing. It's always like what I'm hearing from all three of you, something happened. There was like some sort of moment. There was like a moment where you're like, okay, this is it. And I had that moment too. Karen, did you have a similar, like, was it a moment?
Yeah, for me, I always knew I wanted something more than just myself and being solo, just to vibe with my leadership style and just the human I am, which is I like to be surrounded by community. So I knew very quickly I was not going to remain solo.
And tell me about nursing. So you were working at a hospital.
Yeah. I was a leader in the hospital. So yes, I'm a nurse by background and then worked my way up in leadership within the hospital setting. And I opened the group practice on the side of my desk as I was working, more than full time in the hospital setting here in Toronto. And for me, leadership was in my blood, and I was really confined in the hospital setting, and I really wanted to open a space where I could set the culture, I could set the tone, I could set the mood, and have really like-minded people serve what is a huge gap in our community in terms of mental health access.
Mm. And how was that working full time? I don't know if anybody here is working full time. Let me know in the chat. And building, like, how did you manage it?
Yeah, it was not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was, without sleepless nights. But I did give myself grace and I said, it's just going to happen when things come, they're just going to flow and they're going to happen. And so when I started uh, filling up my own caseload and couldn't take any more, I brought one person on and then I took your course, Nicole, because I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. And I just need someone to teach me what it means to be a group practice. And then I trusted my zone of genius, which was leadership, servant leadership, and, all the other things that I knew I could do well. And so it wasn't easy and it was a slow burn, but I knew that. And I set those intentions and I was okay with the slow build.
I
Uh,
love that.
yeah,
Just trusting the timing and not rushing and knowing I can only do so much because I only have so many hours, but finding a guide to get you there faster.
that's right. Yeah.
Andrea, I'm really curious about the limiting beliefs. I think there's a lot of people on this call that they're their worst enemy. What limiting beliefs did you have to work through to actually make the decision? Okay, yes, I'm not going to refer out anymore.
I think it was for me because I'd had a very successful solo private practice and really valued my autonomy. I had a hard time believing that other therapists would want to be in a group setting. And so I thought, why would anyone want to work for me when they could work for themselves? Because most of my friends and most of my colleagues, I was in an office. There were six of us who all had solo private practice, which helped with my another limiting belief is I'm like, can we really get enough clients to sustain a group practice in private pay? But I thought there's six of us here who are all independent and doing it, and we can do that in a group. And there are some people who don't want to be in a group, but I've got 20 to come
Mm,
to
Mhm.
come join me and who love being in a group and who like the community and who don't want to deal with the headaches of running a business.
you got it. I'm going to say that again, guys, because I know you feel that too. I think we all do on this call. Like we wonder, like, well, if you have a laptop, you can kind of just start your own virtual practice. But the truth is, there's so many people out there looking for you, for what you're creating. They just want to do therapy and go home. And you've created that for them. What about you, Mandy? Limiting beliefs that you had to push
Yeah,
through.
I think one of the biggest limiting beliefs that I had was that I had never worked in a group practice. So I didn't know what it was supposed to look like. And I remember I think I was on a coaching call I know I was in a coaching call in your program, and um, I was helped to shift that belief in realizing that I could build something based on what I value. So I pulled from environments that I had loved being a part of and asked, what would I want this to feel like for my clinicians and my clients? And that gave me permission to stop trying to copy something and start creating something intentionally.
And look how fast you've grown, and like that's
Mhm.
just catapulted you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gabriella, what about you?
Yeah, this one might sound weird. For me, it was fear of success. My vision was so strong. I knew I could do this, but I had a lot of limiting beliefs around money and around success. I thought money meant evil or ego. And with your help, and especially the book list that you give us in the program was so helpful. I now really feel and understand how money supports health and well-being for myself and my family, yes, but for the greater community here, it's all interconnected. The more money that flows through our practice, the more people we can help. Yeah, that was a big one though.
Wow. And I believe that comes from our parents, 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 like our ancestors. And do you
Yeah.
feel that because you've shifted your beliefs and your whole ecosystem, your home, your life, that you've truly shifted the lineage? And like your
Yes,
grandma's ma is like so proud of you.
I deeply believe that. Yes, yeah. And for the future generations, it's just so beautiful. Yeah, this is why I'm doing what I do. It's a lot of fun.
It's
Mhm.
amazing. It's like way bigger than us, you know.
Hmm.
Karen, what about you?
Very aligned with Gabriella. And, I'm a daughter of immigrants. I immigrated as well as a young kid. And the story and narrative about money and how to make money, and what money cannot coexist with serving. And that's it. That's very big for a therapist. What do you mean? I'm not serving, my community, which is such a deep value. And so it was really that that was and continues to be. It's a daily work, I'll be honest, to really reverse that long lineage of money narratives that have been passed down to me. And so that was my biggest limiting belief.
Yeah. And I think that as you approach the next level, it's like another limiting belief, like the seven-figure mark. It's like, okay, whoa, this is like the next one. Yeah. Mandy, I'm curious for you. I think everybody wants to know this part. Right now, what's working in terms of marketing? What are you finding is your most effective strategy, 2026?
Yes. So we are 95% insurance based, like I said. So my marketing strategy, I realized, is a little bit different than most private pay models. And I think my top strategy for getting clients isn't anything real shiny and exciting. It's consistency. So early on, we used the expected channels like Psychology Today and our insurance directories and SEO. But really early on, what impacted us was community recognition and trust. Um, each year, we spend time intentionally connecting with schools and doctors and community partners, and maintaining and cultivating those relationships over time. With our second location, a big shift was treating our website and Google Business presence as active tools and not just passive ones. So with our second location, I think that Google Business um, presence was pretty important to us, and keeping those updated and relevant and has been a consistent way for us to find clients and clients to find us. So overall, I think our growth has been about reputation and consistency.
Mm. I just want to underline the piece about focus. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but spaghetti on the wall, anybody doing that, or whack-a-mole?
Mhm.
Those who win focus. But the trouble is, focus is boring because we like the dopamine hit. We like to try the new thing. But if you could just find, and it sounds like you did, Mandy, for everyone else, find out like what is actually bringing in referrals and picture pellets coming out of a lever. If you want to double your business, double the amount that you hit that lever. I see so many of you hitting five other levers and it's exhausting. There's no pellets coming out of that. So really look at your data. I don't know if you did that, Mandy, like where you're like, this, it sounds like you did. This is what's working, community referrals. And I'm curious when you say, was it phone calls to them? Was it like lunch and learns? What was it exactly to stay in contact?
Um, well, the very first one I do remember is getting up the courage to be like, oh, there's a pediatrician, and then I know that's her. I should go introduce myself. And that's really what I did, just a cold introduction at a weird
Amazing.
place in town, right? And then after that, yeah, it was a bit intentional. We have a very robust chamber of commerce, and so I did join that with very little effort to connect that way. It didn't require the monthly meet and greets that they offer, but just to be a member of that kind of catapulted us into having access to a lot of those other people.
Mm. Just real quick about the Google business profile, guys. You want to hear like a really funny story? I was on the water. Do you remember? So my first office was on the water. And did you know, don't have an office by the water?
Mhm.
I know that is so surprising. Like, what? It's so beautiful. No, but if you look on a map, my geolocation, 50% was in the water. So I wasn't accessing 50% of the population that Google would be bringing me. And it wasn't until I moved 2 blocks away from the water, I literally, people were coming from everywhere. I'm like, where were you guys? Oh, my kid goes to school here. I work over here. I do shopping over there. So just know that the geolocation on that map matters and look around, like no forests, like just try make sure that people live close. Yes. Andrea, what's working right now for marketing?
Well, the most important thing I learned from the Clinic Growth Map was the power of Google Ads and the importance of not doing them myself. I learned
Mhm.
that really early, and I'm so grateful. Our Google Ads perform really well, especially for private pay. I think it's a great way to get clients, and that's worked great. As I go through Jane and look at where our clients are coming from, one surprising source has been through one of our local churches, because word of mouth is actually the church I belong to, and then it has like spread to other congregations of the same denomination. And so kind of doubling down on that, like of course the Google ads are easy to double down, but really within the faith community, knowing that when people have problems, they're going to go to their church leader, their pastor, and ask where should I go? And that's been surprising to me that we've got a lot. And I think you did a podcast on that maybe as well. And that really resonated with me. And we've made more efforts there. I've done some volunteer speaking just to bring awareness. And then just organically, I try and tell every single person that I run into. Um, I'm I'm a therapist. I own a group practice. We serve the greater Spokane community. And that is just something I try and do at every turn is letting people know we even exist. But Google Ads is our primary source of getting clients. And surprisingly, too, we've had a little uptick in Psychology Today as well.
Oh my God, it came back alive.
It, I mean, just this morning I got an email saying you received a call through
That's
Psychology
amazing.
Today, but we're actually probably getting like at least one, not per therapist, but one per practice a week, a Psychology Today.
Yes. Just a note about Psychology Today, it is worth, what is it, $30 a month, even if you
Yeah.
get one client every few months, but it also helps you with AI search. So you want to keep your
Mhm.
Psychology Today. Here's why. It doesn't count as a backlink or anything. It has AI know that you're credible and that you're a real person because it can see that, like, obviously Psychology Today is a big brand and your face is there. So it is just worth that. It increases the chances that you're going to show up on things like ChatGPT. Yeah. Everyone probably wants to know, what's a typical return on ad spend for you, Andrea, and what keywords are working these days?
Our biggest keywords are couples counseling, or couples counseling near me, or couples counseling Spokane. And then after that, it's teens. So those are our two biggest. Last month, it cost us $171 per client. And then if each of those clients stay, for a typical, our average, I think our average is like 9.7 sessions or something is what
Okay.
our clients are staying. And so I don't know, someone do the math for me.
Yeah. So do you know? Yes. So it's called
It-
your ROAS, your return on ad spend. So you can do math. So let's say if we round up, well, 171, and then they stay, how much do you charge per session?
We charge 100, well, our average per session is about 160.
Okay.
You
I'm
take
gonna
into
dial this
account
up. But let's
our,
call it, yeah. So you're making anybody, it sounds like five, like a five times ROAS, return
something
on
like
ad
that.
spend,
Yeah.
which means, guys, just to these numbers make sense, that she's making 5 times back, not 5%, 500%, which is amazing. So if you're making above 4, just keep feeding the machine. Yeah. And just be on top of that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I love your ROAS. It's something that we get in the program. I just did it for March, but I can't remember all the numbers, but it's positive. And then it gives me courage to invest more because it's a big investment. It's a big part of my overhead, but when I can see the numbers, then and I did after last month, and we have some new therapists starting. I just got on my email with my Google Ads company and said I need to get them, I want to increase our inquiries by 20%, and they help me tweak it. And so I'm working with them all the time. So highly recommend. And again, this is something I learned in the program, having someone manage those Google Ads for you.
Yes, and calculating and know how to calculate if they're
Yeah.
working. That's the biggest thing because it can feel like you're spending a lot, but if you actually know, wait a minute, I'm making 5 times more back. Wait a minute, like this is any investor would tell you to reinvest. And she's in Washington, if you're wondering. So those keywords right now, double down on Washington. Mandy, or sorry, Gabriella, what about you? What's working?
Yes, yeah, I'll try to say something different than what's been said already. One thing that I took into consideration, and it's really paid off, was how I named my practice. In the name of my practice is like a common search term. So anybody searching for trauma therapy in our area, our Google business profile is popping up. It's really nice. It brings in high intent clients and builds trust.
Remind
So
everyone, what's the name of your practice again, if you could
the
say it
trauma
again.
therapy group. The trauma therapy group.
Nailed
Yep.
it.
Everything related
Nailed
to
it.
trauma
Guys,
therapy.
you
Or
want
number
descriptive names. If you put
one.
even your city name will help. If you put
Yeah.
the name therapy or what you specialize in, amazing. You're getting so much free traffic, by the way.
Yeah, it's really helped. One other thing I wanted to mention is that it's not all about getting those new clients in, but keeping your current ones engaged. So we do email marketing just about once a month or so. We're communicating with our folks who are here, and every time we send out an email, a good percentage of people click through and book their next appointment. So keep that in mind also.
That's such a good one. Most people are so marketing obsessed. The clients are falling out the back, but they don't notice.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Karen, what's working for you?
Yeah, I would say along the same lines of Andrea, Google Ads is our biggest supporter for what's working. I will add, spend the money on people who know what they're doing with your website as well as your ads. My biggest advice is don't even try to do it yourself. I mean, it's such a waste of time. I did not even attempt where I did, where there was a learning opportunities. I did engage possibly not the best companies. I went with maybe a little bit cheaper in the beginning and it didn't pay off. And I quickly transitioned. So if you find someone worth the investment to run your ads, your SEO, pay that money, especially if it's bringing you in clients. And I would just say the second piece for me is the blue ocean strategy. If folks don't know what it is, Google it. But for me, it's really finding where others are not. And so in our area, and aligning that with your own gifts. So I love public speaking, and I just try to find uh, spaces where other therapists are typically not there. So for example, parent councils in schools, if you have friends that are on parent councils, and just, go in. And in the beginning, it was free, but now I charge a really nice fee and I don't search for them, they search for me now. And so things evolve over time and just find where your heart is and where your gifts are. And that's really worked very well for our community of therapists here in bringing in clients.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, yeah. Anybody here like speaking? Lean into that. Not everybody does. So it sounds like also you're like, well, I like this. I'm good at it. It's going to help me connect. Yeah. And back to the Google Ads. This is why we have a Google Ads expert in our program. and a website expert. Did you tell everybody because they need to hear this? How much does your website make a difference with your Google Ads?
Huge,
So
huge.
start there. It's like first you want a website that converts and you want to know what that looks like. Yeah. I think everybody wants to know how many clients are you personally seeing now? Andrea, we'll start with you.
Okay, I see an average of 12 clients a week right now. And effective January 2026, I'm not taking any new clients. So I'm hoping to reduce that number. What I found is that my therapist needs so much from me. You know, just doing the one-on-one quarterly interviews with my therapist takes a large amount of time. And so really shifting the focus from seeing my own clients to nurturing my team more.
Oh, that's so good. And then they become your clients. I once had a business coach tell me that treat your therapist, your team, that they are like they're your new clients, that you serve them, that their needs are for your first priority. How does that feel emotionally, identity-wise for you?
It feels good. It's what I've discovered is I love the therapeutic side, but I'm also so energized by the business aspect and the leadership aspect, and I can use all my therapeutic skills in that way. And
Hmm.
life happens for our therapists too, and they need good support, and I can be that for them to help them so they can do their best therapeutic work. And then just trusting, I trust my team. I've developed a team over 2 years. I trust each of them 100%. I would send anyone to them. And that's been the biggest game changer is getting us to that point where the systems work, the trust is there. The clients are going to get great care whether they see me or someone else. In fact, probably better care now seeing one of my team because I have so much other things going on.
Mhm.
Mm.
So it's a
I'm gonna
mindset shift, but it's a good one.
a really good one. It's amazing. I'm going to change up the question because I have lots. We'll go with Mandy. How has your life changed in terms of, let's talk money, freedom, flexibility, all of it since doing the
Um,
clinic growth map?
yeah, I think the biggest change that happens is that my income is no longer tied directly to how many clients I can personally see. So that's created a flexibility that I didn't have before. So especially with young kids, and being able to prioritize life outside of work. Um, so it's shifted. There's a lot of flexibility and freedom in being the owner, of course. I don't have to ask for time off, and I can, take that week off and not have any guilt around it because, like Andrea said, my team is strong and I trust them. And it's changed. I wouldn't say in huge sweeping changes, but the change is definitely there with the freedom attached to it.
What about you, Gabriella?
Yeah, really similar as far as flexibility and freedom. I just have a lot more choice now in how I structure my days. It's not just client work. To answer your last question, I see about 8 clients a week, and that's by choice. I don't have to, but I want to. And it doesn't change like how much income I'm taking from the corporation. I feel like before I would have been so stressed if one of my kids was sick or
Mm.
on the Pro D days when their school's closed, I would have been worried about loss of income. But now it's so exciting. I get to be that parent that's there for them. So just lots of flexibility. And as far as the money, my personal salary is probably just a tiny bit higher than when I was in solo practice at this point, 1.5 years into group. But there's a lot of perks with having the corporation. All of my professional development, which I added up, and it's a lot of money. It's been no problem. The corporation pays for that. All of my trainings, including travel. That's a really fun part.
What about
Mhm.
you, Karen?
Yeah, it has been honestly, and I don't say this lightly, life-changing. We welcomed our son 13 months ago. I have an older daughter. There's a 10-year gap. I was able to take an entire year off without having to worry during that time. We got to travel as a family. Um, for the first time, my 10-year-old actually gets mom to drop her off and pick her up from school, which has been there's no price tag on that freedom and flexibility. And I'm just a lot more present. I don't work as much in the evenings, and I definitely don't work on weekends. And the practice runs without me. And it's honestly shout out to a phenomenal team we've built here. But I don't have to worry when I'm not here. When I'm sick, it runs. I don't have to come in or be connected. And so it's offered the permission to be all of my other identities, mom, wife, caregiver, all the things.
It's amazing. Andrea, what about you?
Yeah, well, I'm here in Florida on a little, it's a work vacation for my husband, but a total vacation for me. And I've been here for 4 business days, and our team has seen 125 clients in that time, um, scheduled 5 new intakes, and it's all just humming along while I'm able to be away. And it's taken a lot of work to get there, the beginning. You put in the work, but the freedom that you get to have something that can run without you because you have systems in place and you have people in place, it is life changing, and it is a lot of freedom, a lot of worry in the beginning too. Like I do want to be transparent about that
Mhm.
it is there, the heaviness of it sometime, but once you get it going and operating and you have good systems in place, the freedom comes, and I'm excited about that. I'm about to have a grandbaby. Um, I'm
Mm.
on I'm on the opposite end of most people who I meet in the program who are having their babies. But I'm about to become a grandma, and just knowing I have the freedom to travel and be so present for that grandchild is very exciting.
Congrats. That's exciting. What's one piece of advice you'd give Gabriella for somebody that's on the fence? They want to scale, but they're afraid.
Yeah, I learned this one from you, Nicole. Do it scared. We can do it scared. Like, we can acknowledge the fear. Um, okay, I'll give a bit of a therapist answer. If it feels like old fear, maybe that's something you want to process through with your own therapist. But maybe it's what I'd call like growth edge fear. For me, I just take that as like I'm on the right path or I'm at an important edge. And then why not take the leap and expand out of our comfort zone?
It's so
Yeah,
good. Yeah, it just means you're growing. It's so good.
that's it.
Mandy,
Yeah.
what would you add? One piece of advice.
Yeah, I think my piece of advice would be that you don't have to do this alone. When I first started, I thought I was joining the clinic growth map for the business coaching, for the structure, for the forms. But it turned out the biggest value for me was the community. And even after the program, I've made it a priority to stay connected to people I've met in the group in the clinic growth map. So I'm in like an ongoing group chat with a couple group practice owners, and alumni from your program. I joined a tight group of about 8 of us that meet consistently every other week on Zoom over the last 2 years. So that kind of community is out there. Like-minded people who understand what I'm building, is incredibly valuable for perspective and support. Um, and the people I've surrounded myself with have helped me move smarter than trying to figure it out all on my own. And so if that's a part for someone who's on the fence of it feels big and scary and lonely, it doesn't have to be.
Karen, what about you?
Yeah, my goodness. Really great answers. Let me add maybe something that was not said, although I really subscribe to that, Gabrielle and Mandy, is be transparent with that first hire. I
Mhm.
don't have this all figured out. I have no clue what I'm doing, maybe, whatever that is. But what I do know is I will figure this out along the way. Are you in? Just to be very practical. And you don't have to start by hiring 5 people at a time. It could just be one person you really vibe with that is really like-minded and you're just very transparent with in the beginning.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think there's people, or we put pressure on ourselves. We have to be at a certain level to be ready, but just show up vulnerable. Those are the best bosses. Yeah. And Andrea, what about you?
Well, Gabriella said, do it scared. and I'll say, do it with Nicole. Like doing it with a business coach was the best thing I ever did. And it's really interesting because I'm on so many Facebook groups of, of therapists, and there's so much negativity. And I'm like, man, I'm like doing my best months ever. Like in the current climate, the current economic climate, the current world climate. And I really credit it to having a business coach who outlined everything for me. And I've tried to do everything that Nicole teaches and follow her systems and the things that she had outlined. And it's just been steady growth and consistent growth. And I'm no longer as afraid. I still like to get scared because I agree, do it scared. Take risks, but just having someone who can support you and help you. I graduated from the program, but I didn't leave the program. I can't miss Nicole's weekly coaching call, because it's so inspiring. I gain so much. I think keeping up with everything is changing so quickly. I cannot believe when I started my group. I mean, I thought AI could help me a little bit. I thought I need to learn about this. I mean, I cannot believe what I'm learning about AI that I didn't even know 6 months ago. And
Mm.
so, just being part of the program where, Nicole, you're keeping up on things, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I would say do it with a coach. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all of you. We're going to bring you back up in a sec. But I want to tell you before we bring you back up to answer your guys' questions, put your question in the chat if you haven't yet. And if you have, you're going to get it answered. But I just want you to really acknowledge, my beautiful panelists, that you are paving the way. Like, really own that. It's unreal. Like, there's something you said today, I promise you, that somebody needed to hear. So Cass is going to put you in the back of the stage just for one sec while I chat with everybody else. Then we're going to bring them up for an encore, and they're going to answer your questions. I see them in the chat. Thank you so much. Do you want their results? Are you ready for those results? Like, first of all, how do you feel? Let me know in the chat. Drop that word. Remember when you first got here and I said, drop the word how you want to feel, like what you want to get in the hour, whether it was strategy or hope or motivated, Lindsay says. So good. Do you want access to the exact growth map that they had? I am giving away a 45-minute free strategy call. I'm going to drop the link. My team, there it is. We'll drop it. I don't know if you've had one yet. It is free. Here's the thing, business coaches aren't really doing calls anymore. Do you want to sit with an advisor and audit your actual practice? And they'll help you overcome the bottlenecks, but they'll also tell you if you'd be a good fit for the clinic growth map. The truth is, I don't let just anyone in. I want you to be ready to have your life changed. Tell me in the chat, are you ready? Like, are you ready that this is the year? This is the year of the horse, by the way. 2026 is the year that your kids say, oh, it was that year that my dad did that. It was that year that my mom changed everything for us. You can click the link and meet my team. And something else, two things you may not know. You can now get CE credits, guys. So I'm approved. The clinic growth map is now continuing education credit approved, CE approved through the NBCC. So if you're American, you'll know what that means. If you're an LPC and a few others, or any psychologists here that are Canadian, we're also approved through the Canadian Psychological Association. Super exciting. Just get them all, like over 20 credits are done. Also, you can talk to a graduate. Do you want to talk to somebody that lives in your rural area, or you're really competitive, or maybe you live in LA or New York? When you're on the call, it is free. Just tell them, hey, I want to speak to somebody that lives here. And because I've worked with over 1,000 therapists in every state and province, we will find that person. Okay. All right. I want to say a few more things that I feel that you need to hear. The panelists already said it, but I'm going to say it again because it is my mantra. If you're just on the cusp, but you feel a little terrified, what if it means that something magical is on the other side? Do it scared. I say it because I still remember the moment I'm sitting in my hot tub. I turn to my husband, Dan, and I say, babe, I feel like if I do this, if I stop referring out and I just start hiring, but I work with a business coach to get me there, I feel like if I do it scared, I might win because most people don't. If you're the one who does it scared, you will be way ahead. Who's ready to do it scared? I saw some of you in the chat. Drop a me so I can give you all the positive energy. Who is ready to do it scared? The other big thing for me is that, yay, Patricia, Esther, Mariella, so good. Did you know that research tells us that we make within 20% of the income of the people we surround ourselves with? Think about that for a sec. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you hanging out with? And are you okay with that? Maybe you are. For me, I felt like I never really fit in. I'm from a really small town. I always wanted more. So I found the people. The panelists talked about this. Find your tribe. If you want to hang out with people that you just heard from and you're going to see them again, it's finding the community that is going to bring you up. As I said, you don't have to do this alone. You also heard from them. I want you to ponder, what's the cost, my friend, for being so burnt out? What is the cost for keep going the way that you're going? Tell me in the chat, what is it? Let's be honest. If I'm real, the amount that I had to work in solo practice, I won't even admit, like, I don't even know if it was ethical. I saw way too many clients because I wanted a good life, and the amount of clients I had to see was way too many. And here's the truth. I would come home to my baby twins and my husband with no conversation left in me. Do you relate? I was holding space for everyone else all day long, that I would come home with, my husband would want to talk to me, and all I craved was television. Okay, good. Somebody in the chat agrees. All I craved was I just was so burnt out. That is the cost. Maybe your cost looks different, but I believe that you are here for a reason. We're going to bring the panelists back up. Come on up, guys. I can't wait for them to answer all of your questions. And as they're coming up, I'm going to leave you with this one last thing. I deeply believe, and you know this from the podcast, if you're listening to the Business Savvy Therapist, everything you desire in life, it's already here. It is sitting. Your future self is sitting there. It's just, here's my question for you. Are you ready to receive it today? Are you ready to finally allow it all in? Okay, guys, Maddie's going to read the questions out.
All right, we have some great questions for you guys. The first one comes from Erica, who asks, do you do any social media? And if you do social media platforms, which platform do you use? And Liz added to this question as well. I'm debating on spending on hiring a social media expert to manage Instagram versus doing Google Ads. Do you have any thoughts on this pathway?
Who wants to take that?
I can go ahead and take a first stab. I actually we have a handle. It is not active on social media. And personally speaking, I would not spend money on hiring someone for social media. I would spend it on Google Ads. And the reason being is because people are not searching us on social media. They might want to, get some education, but they're not going to be paid clients in general, whereas they will search you in Google to say, I need grief counseling in my area. And so that's my take. And we have never really had any social medias that were active at all for us.
Can I jump in? I have really strong feelings about this, and then I'm going to let you guys jump in too. Aren't we, Erica? We're so lucky. I'm so glad you threw this out before you spend your money. We have people looking for us, like searching. People go to 3 places when they're looking for a therapist. 1, they go to their best friend who helped you with your marriage. 2, they go to their family doctor. I just can't sleep anymore. I'm not functioning. 3, they go to Google and they search teen therapy or insomnia, etc. Almost everybody in my program. I teach social media, but I do not teach it first, and I do not teach it a lot. I don't believe it's the first place you want to invest your money. And guys, I want you to jump in because most of them who have hit the seven-figure mark, including me, I had 400, I'm very proud to say, 400 unengaged followers, and I hit the seven-figure mark with that. I see you nodding, Mandy, Andrea. Do you agree?
I agree. We yes, just like Karen, we have Facebook and Instagram. It was, we passively were active for a bit. We have a couple hundred followers and we're okay without putting too much time and effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same. We have the handles. But the only thing I really use social media for is I do stay active in some community groups. And when someone says, "Hey, does anyone know a good therapist?" I make sure and comment that the team, my practice is called Secure Intimacy, Marriage and Family Counseling. And so I put that in there and tag our social media. But we don't use it for marketing at the moment
Yeah.
for all the reasons you listed, Nicole.
All
Next
right.
question.
Just before we announce the next question, Cass is just going to drop the bonus for you guys as well in the chat, so you can take
Oh
a
my
peek
gosh,
there.
I forgot. I'm so sorry. Click the link. That's the bonus. The for your specialty page, 8 steps for a high converting specialty page. It's yours.
Awesome. The next question comes from Jennifer, who asked, "Are your staff employees or 1099 subcontractors?"
Mandy, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I have 1099s. And that's how we're operating.
And Andrea?
W-2 in the United States, that it's recommended that you do W-2 employees just to stay clean with the IRS. And so we started with one 1099 and then quickly switched through what I learned from coaching to the W-2s.
Yeah. I would suggest W-2. It is a bit of a risk, but Mandy, here's what I always say. So in the program, we have employment lawyers, we have all the people, HR, accounting. And so we give you all the things, okay? But then it's your risk tolerance. Like Mandy, your risk tolerance, you're living in the gray. And you're probably doing certain things. You have a really good contract. You probably you don't require that they attend team meetings, probably. Yeah. So you're
Mhm.
towing the line and you know how to, and it's still risky.
Yes, and I agree. Employment lawyers are vital.
Yeah, exactly. Just having a really good employment lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, and you're right. Risk tolerance is part of it. And if I was to do it over, maybe I'd start the W-2 model. And that could still be a possibility in the future.
So just to say that we do have a lot of people in the program moving over from the 1099 model as big as you.
Mhm.
More in New Jersey just did it successfully and everyone stayed.
Yeah.
And the accountant can help you because it's a bit tricky, right? Because they take
Mhm.
home less because you're covering the payroll taxes and so on. But
Yeah.
just know it is possible to
Mhm.
do it successfully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Our next question comes from Erica, who asked, "Are you in locations that are highly concentrated with therapists? Are you in places that are underserved communities?"
Karen, you're in busy. Are you in Markham, Toronto?
I am. I would say oversaturated area, for sure.
Yeah. Gabriella, Vancouver.
In Vancouver, yep, yep, saturated market, but doing it, it's working.
Andrea, where in Washington is it saturated?
I'm in Spokane, Washington, and I would say it's fairly saturated. We have two marriage and family and clinical mental health small colleges, but that produce, a graduating class every year, plus a social work school. And I feel it's mildly saturated. I wouldn't say it's oversaturated, but saturated.
Okay. And Mandy?
In Omaha, I'd say saturated.
Yeah. Just know it's going to cost you more if you're in a saturated area to do your Google ads. But as Andrea said, she's paying $171 to get a client. And that's to get them to the website, to book the consult call, to show up to the consult call, to book the appointment. Those are a lot of steps and it costs her that much. But that one client, if we did the math, brings in $2,000, I think, give or take, right? So even in saturated, it's worth it if you know what you're doing.
Right. Our next question comes from Zoom user. If you can drop your name in the chat, please do. But they ask, do you go to churches or doctors' offices yourselves, or do you send someone on your behalf?
Andrea, I think you spoke to churches.
Yeah. I've done that one on my own just because I'm really dialed into it. And it's been more organic than like, hey, can I come have an appointment with you and sit down and tell you what I do? I just make sure they know what we do and how we can help, especially with couples. And so it's been pretty much like a casual thing. And then sometimes I'll send a text to a clergy leader like, hey, we're doing like a weekend workshop for marriage. Would you want to know more about it? And there are people that it's not cold calling for me, it's people that I'm connected to. So I'm just
Yeah.
using my personal contacts for the clergy.
I heard that from you too, Karen. You were going through your friends, right? Like friends that are teachers, and then we'll get and you do these talks on your own, obviously, right? You don't send someone to do them.
That's right. Yeah. I'm really the face of the brand, and I do feel very connected to, invest in that time to make those community connections.
Mandy, anything to add?
Um, no, actually, everyone's covered it all, but I do think as the owner to put your face out there and to um, back your business with your full chest, saying, "Hi, I'm so and so, and here's my company, and I can help you guys out." I think that goes a long way.
I love that. Just a note about your warm referrals. Do you mind, Cass on my team, do you mind dropping the podcast episode on warm referrals? Zoom user, start there. Start with your own family doctor. I had no shame. I would be there for my child who has a rash, but as I would also mention that we're now offering psychoeds. It was my own doctor, and it feels easier because you know and like them. And then start with your own kid's principal, your
Yeah.
own church. It's just going to feel easier and you'll warm up that confidence. There'll be a whole podcast for you on this too.
Can I say a little tip about doctor's offices also? We, thanks to Nicole, created a system around it. I used to be the one making the calls. I am the one that visits and does lunch and learn. But we created, which I also learned from you, a lead magnet for the doctors. It's just a little freebie that talks about PTSD in our case and when to refer for EMDR. And it's just like makes it a little bit warmer if it is a cold call or email you're doing, offering them. Um, a little something has really helped us.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Where did you learn that? No, I'm kidding.
Mhm.
Like really high value. You're going to get a yes. And then you don't feel like you're cold calling either. You're offering something to them and it's
Totally.
reciprocity.
Hmm.
Right, awesome. Our next question comes from Melissa, who asked, how long did it take to pay yourself after the business is doing well, paying for itself?
Who wants to take this one? How long did it take to pay yourself after the business is doing well? Yes. Andrea.
Yeah, I started just from day one, paying myself. And it was I'm, on the payroll, and it's a smaller salary because I'm investing back into the business right now, but it doesn't need to be. That's just the way I've done it. And I'm able to draw from the profit, and yeah, financially it's very good.
Nice. So you
And
have yourself on a salary, and then you can also
yeah,
you can pull from the profit or reinvest it.
right. And so I would say from day one, pay yourself. I mean, set it up so that you can pay yourself. You're not going to want to not pay yourself.
And you're the role of CEO, like you deserve a salary for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, similar to Andrea, I never stopped paying myself, but my salary did go down a little bit at the beginning. Now, through my journey, I've given myself a number of raises, which is really nice. Um, and I also invest within the corporation, which is really fun also. So some of the leftover profit at the end of each month, I get to tuck it away into a corporate investment, which is great.
Can we talk about this for a second? Somebody asked
Yeah.
about financial advice. That's my biggest financial advice. If you're Canadian, hit me up. I'll give you my guy. He's so good. So what she's saying is in Canada, I'll just speak to percentages. You're only taxed at 12% when you're incorporated. Now, you don't want to incorporate too early. Don't do that. It doesn't make sense until you're profitable. Okay. But let's say she has 20 grand at the end of the month. She can invest that profit in a corporate investment. So she doesn't pay like it, you don't pay any taxes on it. It just continues to grow, if that makes sense, at whatever, the market did really well last year. Actually, I made 20% off my investments. So you want the right person doing this, but it really makes sense to keep everything in the corporation as investments. When you pull it out, of course, you get dinged with taxes, but it's a way to not pay taxes at the beginning. Yeah.
Right, awesome. This question comes from Erica, who asked, do any of you do supervision?
I'll let you jump in. None of you?
I do not. I have a team member who is a AAMFT supervisor, and so she handles all of our supervision.
Nice. It doesn't look like any of you supervise.
I supervise a couple here and there. Most of ours find their own supervision outside of our business as well. And then I also have fully licensed therapists who are capable of it, and some of that's in the works.
That's a dream.
Yeah.
I supervised a lot at the beginning. It's good for quality care, but that's amazing that you don't have that additional role, another hat to wear.
Mhm.
Awesome. Our next question comes from Gilius, who asks, if a solo therapist wants to grow into a group practice without creating burnout, what do they need to build correctly from the very beginning?
Karen, you want to take this one?
Sure. Tenacity. No, I'm joking. Let me be a little bit more um, practical, but yeah, tenacity. I think uh, hire someone who will teach you the ropes of business. Of course, we're here with Nicole. I think it's important to pay others in their zone of genius to teach you. And so that may mean you're going to take a little bit of a financial hit in the beginning, or you may need to work a little bit extra hours in the beginning. Not you may, you will. You will. It just doesn't appear on your desk. It involves a lot of tenacity and a lot of work. And I think if you have that mindset of this is an investment, I'm all in, and it may mean a little bit of a pay cut because I'm going to put that money towards someone who's going to help me and give me all the things to take off and teach me what not to put my money in and waste it in the beginning, and give me stepwise advice. Invest that. I actually am a graduate from one of Nicole's first cohorts. So 4 years ago, I took Nicole's clinic growth map in September of 2022. So just to give everyone here an idea, it's not recent, and that is how I started. That was my first investment before I even grew and before I brought anyone on. And within that time, I brought on an admin and other therapists. And so I would just say, if that's your vision, spend some money on someone who's done this before with success and with the results to show you. And just know that it will require a few extra hours in the beginning, but the payoff and the return on investment is phenomenal.
Can I just echo off of that a little bit that in that first year, early, often, I would say I would have thrown in the towel months ago if it wasn't for the clinic growth map. And the like-minded people, the mindset coaching, the vision, the structure, all of it helped me not question myself every day, just once in a while. And then I already had the answer, the mindset answer for it. So without this program, I don't know if a burnout may have come without this program and without the direction.
Mm. And I would add to that systems. Having really good systems is absolutely crucial. And I knew a little bit about systems. My husband has owned his own business for 30 years. Like I've watched him run a business, but learning the systems that I needed for a successful group therapy practice, there was a little bit of a learning curve of that for me. And the clinic growth map really helped with that. And then to avoid burnout, the number one thing, and this is what I see people in the coaching calls push back, and I pushed back on this a little bit when I was first starting, but hire an admin. Like 100%, I cannot emphasize that enough. Hiring a good admin who understood systems. Like my admin is smarter than me when it comes to systems.
Mhm.
And she's always one step ahead of me. I don't know how I found her. It's truly serendipitous. It is, I manifested her somehow. But she is amazing. And that is what has saved me from burnout more than anything, is having an admin who knows how to create a system, improve upon a system, and really stay one step ahead of me. And I think that's my biggest key to avoiding burnout.
I really agree, Andrea. Yeah, Nicole always said outsource the overwhelm.
Mhm.
And absolutely, like we're gonna burn out if we hold on to all of it. And that was a big shift for me. I was used to doing it all my way, but learning to trust someone else, and that's great if we can hire people who are really skilled in the areas that we need them to be skilled in to support in the practice running and the growth. That's been so huge. Yeah.
All right, awesome. We have just a few more questions for you guys. This one comes from Michelle, who asked, "Where are you finding the therapists to bring on?"
Who wants to go, Karen?
Yeah, my secret sauce is interns. So we have had 100% retention with all of our interns. Very proud to say that. And our turnover is non-existent. So we have not turned over any therapists, and they've stayed with us since their internship. Now, that does involve really, really, really good vetting of interns. We do get about 40 requests per cohort. So January intake, May intake, September intake, and we only land two each intake. We have a very laborious process for you to enter our internship program, but from the interview process, we basically know you'll likely stay on. We invest a whole lot in their internships so that when they're ready, they are ready to become, paid contractors here, and they're highly invested back in our clinic. And we've only had two external therapists who have come to us because they've heard about, the phenomenal work we do or the phenomenal culture we've built. So we don't go seeking them out, but that is required. It's a lot of work that we put into our internship program.
Yeah, interns for me too. That's kind of my model, and I have a really hard time after few rounds of interns hiring anyone who hasn't interned for us because we've trained them from day one. They know our systems, they know our EHR, they know everything we do, and we've just got them dialed in the way we want. Um, but a lot of my therapists, I've never had to advertise for a therapist. And a lot of them have come because they are friends of my current therapist. So my first hire she was freshly graduated. She had just finished her program, and I'd gone to lunch with her several times and tried to show her how to start a solo private practice. And I called her one day to see how it was going. And she's like, I haven't even applied for my license yet. And I'm like, what? And she said, I'm just so scared to do it. And I said, what if I hired you? And she said, oh my gosh, I would love it. And that's how I started my practice. And then my next couple therapists were people from her cohort who were also recently graduated that she told about what we were doing. So it's been word of mouth. Other therapists, and I've actually interviewed a lot of therapists that haven't joined me. And a lot of them have had like a bad experience at a group. And so the trust isn't quite there, but they've heard about me, they've contacted me, they've wanted to talk. I haven't always been able to convert them, unfortunately. But I see why, and that's why I want my group to be a positive, wonderful, amazing place to work for my team.
That's a good pro tip, guys. Hire, if you find someone you love, birds of a feather flock together. Hire
Mhm.
everyone they know. That's literally what I've done.
Mhm.
The go-tos are Indeed or LinkedIn. I think Indeed's better. So I found most of my people on Indeed.
All right, awesome. We have one more question because we do need to wrap up. And this one comes from Carissa, who asked, did anyone on the panel need to take out a loan to afford to hire their first therapist? And how did you ensure that you offered competitive pay?
Hmm. I see you nodding, Karen. Do you want to take this one?
I did not pull out a loan to hire my first therapist. And we go on a 60-40 split, but we offer a beautiful office space, very, very warm and cozy, and we get them a caseload. And we have a lot of resources and we have ourselves. So, in terms of just good leadership, and the name, and people are really happy with that and the culture that you build in your practice.
Hmm. Mandy, what about you?
I did. I took out a small business loan. I knew I wanted to be bricks and mortar, and I wanted to find the right place. And so it took a little bit of capital to make that place what I wanted it to be. So yeah, I took out a business loan to start, not to hire though. So close, like Karen said, the payment came when her money came in, right? So just luckily for us, it didn't cost to hire; it cost to build.
And most people will need to get a loan if you want to be bricks and mortar because first and last month's rent, all the furnishings, all of the things. But just one thing I want to say is I actually had a loan, not at the beginning, but at the end. Let me explain. There's this thing that happened called COVID. That was expensive. Everybody was sick. I went through it. The masks were expensive, the cleaning, the gloves, like the group practice was paying for all of that. And we weren't charging for cancellations because that wasn't fair. The whole planet was sick. So I got it's called a SEBA loan in Canada. I don't know in America if you guys had loans, but our government said like you can have an interest-free loan. But get this, I didn't know that you could sell your practice if you had a loan. And the buyers, because I sold it for multiple seven figures, and like they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like most businesses have loans. We'll just like knock it off. Like they're not going to take the whole loan, obviously, but like we'll take it off the top. So know that. Andrea, what about you? Did you have a loan?
I did not take out a loan. I'm kind of in a privileged position where I'm a little older and established financially, but I did invest. Like the entire first year, I put everything back into the business. So what I would have taken a loan out for, I did need to invest some of my personal earnings and income. But I absolutely would take a loan because it's been so successful, just to get those startup costs, like you're talking about the first and last month's rent, things like that. Absolutely, I would do it.
Gabriella, what about you?
And it wasn't a formal business loan, but I borrowed from a family member when I made the leap to a larger clinic space to help with those costs you're talking about, furnishing the space. I probably didn't need it. It was like a little tight, so I did just to help myself feel safer, and then it was paid off within a few months. Yeah.
Yes. And just so you know, I forget who asked this. I'm not sure if you're listening to the podcast, but I teach you a cost benefit analysis. So at least you know how to make the decision, right? So how much do I have to bring in to cover the costs? And then you want to make a smart decision. There's a whole model that I give you. We're wrapping up, so we won't be able to put it in the chat, but message me on Instagram. I can send it to you, or you'll find it if you type in cost benefit analysis. Okay. The business savvy therapist. Guys, thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Andrea, Gabriella, and Karen. You were so an inspiration. And I want to say something before you leave. Two things. One, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And also, thank you for choosing me. You didn't have to trust me to be on this journey to walk side by side with you. And it was a real honor. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for coming to everybody else. It was really great seeing you, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Take
Thanks.
care. See you later. Bye.